What's up, Nerf Herders? I'm Scott.
I'm John.
J-Bone.
And welcome to our spoiler discussion for Mad Max Fury Road. Holy hell.
Yeah. First, right off the bat, you know what I loved? I loved about the entrance where it says Mad Max. And it says Fury Road.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like in that 80s, like, slash.
Yeah, because you got, like, the steel, like, ching, ching, and then, like... like, the fire comes across, dude, and it's just like
it's
oh my god!
Like, you know what I mean?
This movie rocked.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Before we jump into all the action, because that's the pinnacle of this, I wanted to talk a little bit with you guys about, like, the plot. Because I felt like it was such a simple plot, and for me personally, it felt like it was more Charlize Theron's movie than it was Tom Hardy's, because the story was her story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mad Max comes in,
Yeah, it was.
and he's just kind of like this loner who gets caught up in the mix, does his work with them, he's like, all right, peace out, we did it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I thought that was really weird in the beginning, but by the end of it, I was super on board with that.
Dude, and you know what? It's and I hate to make this analogy, but it's so much like the original Star Wars, like, story. Because you got Princess Leia, who's got, you know, her mission, and you got Han Solo, who gets thrown into the mix, but he's just, like, there, like, to get, like, out, you know? He's just like, peace out, like, I'm done.
Oh, yeah.
And he says it so many times, like, I'm done, like, I don't need to be here, I don't want to be here, I'm not part of your fight.
But the movie wasn't called Han Solo.
No.
You know what I mean? That would have made it like,
Yeah.
whoa, okay. That's what I thought was interesting. It's called Mad Max.
But it's not his
kind
story.
of
That idea, though. It's just like Mad Max is just there because he wanted to escape, you know? And now that he's escaped, he's not here to help her anymore. He can just go do his own thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, so...
Yeah.
Too cool, though. Too cool. Like, just the story is so simple, but it's like... They're able to make it so, I guess, emotionally captivating the whole time. Because you grow to love, like, every single character. Even that, like, one little henchman dude at the end, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he kind of turned good at the end.
I was, dude, when they first showed him, I was like, God, man, he's going to be one of them guys, dude. And then he ended up being a really likable character by the end of the movie, which I loved.
It kind of reminded me of Waterworld, like you're searching for...
I was thinking about that, too. It's like Waterworld in the desert, you know?
yeah, it's like Waterworld.
We're looking for the Oasis.
Just way better.
One scene that I kind of, if I had to give a little bit of a gripe on, but not really a gripe, more like a little bit of confusion, is the very, very, very beginning, the opening scene where it's just him overlooking on that cliff, his car's there, you got the two-headed little lizard going, and he steps on it, eats it, and then they're chasing him, and he's got long hair, a beard, and they blow him up and they capture him. But during the whole rest of the movie, he was just, like, unstoppable. You know what I mean? He was just Mad Max, you know? Like
That was my only minimal gripe to this movie is it's like, I wanted to see more madness. You know what I mean? It's exactly. It was the only gripe I had with that movie. It was just like, dude, like, I want to see you just be like that wild cowboy dude and just like does stupid crazy stuff, but it always works out in your favor. Mm-hmm. And I felt like, there was a lot of times, like, if he didn't get assistance, dude, his ass was grass, you know?
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's like, they'll elaborate more on that and stuff, but that was my only one gripe I had too.
Yeah. I mean, the beginning was awesome, just that scene, and it was just the nice desert, and this, like, you know what I mean? It was just really cool looking, and then the lizard, and it's just the way he stomps on it, it's just like, and he's like, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It's just so, like, you could tell everyone's just gone fucking loopy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, everyone's just kind of crazy, and I don't know. Other than that, the movie is fucking flawless, dude.
Oh, it was sick,
That movie was awesome.
Well, so cool, because it's like this post-apocalyptic type world, dude. It's like everything's desolate. Mm-hmm. They make that reference to technology when they're like, oh, that's a satellite out there used to bounce all these things. So we know it takes place, you know, like way after today. They don't really specify a year, but you know that we've had all technology and everything's kind of went to ruin now.
Yeah.
But it's like, dude, they take all the scraps, man. It's like the Rebel Alliance, dude. Like, they take all the scraps to put together these war machines, man. And they're all specifically designed.
Vehicles ever.
Yeah, they're all specifically designed to have their own purpose. You got the one that shoots the harpoon, and then you just drop and drag to slow you down.
That's cool. I thought that was so innovative.
Yeah.
To have, like, just like almost like an anchor. You know? Like, the car is used as an anchor. That is so cool. And then you had, like, the guys on, like, the big poles, like, you know, going back and forth. That was so cool.
That far out shot, man, when you see him coming at you, and you're just like that quick slow-mo, and just see them all just, like, beautiful, dude.
And it was all real.
Yeah.
Like, thank you.
Was,
you know, you have all these people who are like, oh, man, computers, help everything so much today with movies because we can do things we never could do before. And I'm saying, bullshit. You could do all that. You just don't want to put your balls and your money where your mouth is.
Yeah, could you imagine how brutal of a shoot this movie was?
Oh,
dude, they busted their butts on this movie, man. This was not a walk in the park.
Yeah.
I can only imagine. I want to watch all the behind the scenes for this, dude. I can only imagine the stuff they had to do to make these shots as good as they were. Because the other nice thing, dude, is it's not like boom, 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 with the camera everywhere, man. It's they take full shots, man.
Yeah.
Like, you get to see the whole stunt performed. It's not like, oh, well, that wasn't what we wanted, so we're going to do 8 different angles so it looks aggressive. It's like, no, dude, like, we saw it all happen.
That's what was so nice about John Wick, too. John Wick's the same thing. And that's what I hope Star Wars is for JJ. But, I mean, back to Mad Max. God, dude. Like, I liked everything from the vehicles. Like we were saying, how each vehicle kind of like has their own purpose. Specialty, I guess you could say. Real quick, though. What happened? What was that part with Immortan Joe? He finds out the wives left, and he goes downstairs to the Oracle lady or something, like past all the greenery grass that's getting watered, and she's got the shotgun at him, and he walks right up to her, and he's like grabs a shotgun, she blows it, and then he says whatever he says to her. I don't know who that woman was. Like,
I think that was like probably she was there to look after his wives. Like, as like a keeper of like the wives to like make sure they're tended to and stuff.
Oh,
because those were all his wives, and he's using them as to impregnate them to create his family.
Yeah,
to create the perfect baby and stuff.
Nut job.
I think she was there as kind of like she was there to kind of take care of them, make sure they were healthy, all that, because you saw his other kids are kind of messed up.
Yeah, or maybe another woman he slept with, dude, and like that's one of the kids. I mean, who knows, dude.
You know what
very
I
messed up, very crazy.
But speaking of Immortan Joe, then let's talk about this guy's a villain a little bit here.
Number one, probably I liked. Okay, this is probably gonna like whatever. I don't even care. I'm just gonna fucking say it. I think Immortan Joe was more of a creepy, like every time he was on screen, it was like, holy shit, you're scaring me. Like, you are intimidating, motherfucker. More than Ultron, more than James Spader's delivery of Ultron's lines. I don't care. I think Immortan Joe's the makeup, the eyes, that mask. When they don't show him at first, like he's got the blisters on his back, and they're blowing the dust, and they're like, okay, easy, and then he's like, all ready. He's like, I am the god. I will take you to Valhalla. It's like, oh my god, it's so brutal. Another two real quick parts. Number one, when they're all driving towards the Charlize Theron's truck, and they find out she's going away, they're chasing after her, and the guy and the secondary little kid who winds up being good at the end, he's like, oh my god, he looked at me. That part was cool. And when he's when the woman shows herself for some shit, and he finally catches up to them, and he says, give them back, they're my property. Yeah. Like, just the way he says it, oh man. Dude, best villain I've seen in a long
He's
long
awesome.
time.
And you know what's so cool too is he was like not overused, but it made each time that they actually focused on him was like awesome. It wasn't like to the point where like, okay, we're used to seeing you. And my favorite thing about this guy, dude, was that the fact he wasn't a villain that just kind of like hung in the shadows.
Yeah,
man. He was up front. He led the charge.
And I think that's what I like too. That's what I like the most about like George Miller villains is that they are like real villains. They don't have people doing their bidding.
Yeah.
You see the original movies, like the first Mad Max. Actually, Immortan Joe was played by the original villain from Mad Max, the first one.
Yeah, that's what you were saying.
The Toe Cutter. That's the same guy. And in the original, Toe Cutter was like this badass dude who was in the front lines. He had his gang of people helping him, but he did just as much as anyone else.
Yeah.
He didn't have all these people do all this bidding for him. And that's what I love about this guy, like you were saying. He's the first one when they crumbled the big overpass of rocks to barricade in that tunnel area.
Yeah.
And no one can get past. He's like the first car right there. Like, who's coming with me?
Yeah.
Like, not all you guys go get these rocks out of the way and go kill them for me. Like, who's coming with me? I'm first.
Yeah, love that, dude.
Yeah.
Too cool.
How cool was his death scene, man?
Yeah.
Man,
It happened so quick.
It was so fast, dude. Where I almost didn't know if he was dead or not. But I was like, man, I just loved it. It was casual.
Yeah.
They didn't make it this huge epic moment. We're gonna like focus on this hardcore. It was just like, no, we're in the heat of a battle. We're in the heat of a chase. And then Charlize Theron, dude, what did she say? Like, remember my face?
Yeah, you'll fucking remember me. I think
Remember,
he used to
just-
be a wife or something. I think maybe.
No,
Something,
she's
I don't know.
like
She was like a leader though.
She's like one of his like generals.
Oh,
But man, when she just like chucks that thing down, just like, oh,
Rips his
dude,
face
and
off.
you get that like
Too cool.
half of a frame. You would just see what it looked like. It was like boom, real quick in and out. It was like, damn. Like,
yeah, it was like, jaw dropped,
Yep.
literally.
I think
so cool.
I think the music in this movie was phenomenal. I think
Yeah,
it was all
perfect,
well
perfect
placed.
complimentary.
I thought it was amazing to have
That
like that
tribal-
kind of
tribal
tribal
shit,
old
yeah.
school like ode to like ancient battle, where you actually had drummers and musicians playing on the battlefield, playing
That's what I
battle
liked. It was
music.
real, yeah.
And you had the real people playing the drums and that dude playing the guitar with the flamethrower attached. And I was like, this is too cool, man, because it's like real battle cry. Like, this is war music. This is here to pump up my troops.
That guy looked like someone straight out of Silent Hill, dude.
Yeah.
He has no eyes. Oh, dude, it's so cool.
You know what I really like though, because I was wondering, I was like, is this guitar player actually playing, or is he just fucking doing some stupid
He's
shit?
a real musician.
You know what's crazy though? Yeah, because that Tom Hardy scene where he's climbing over the amps and he's kind of fucking with his guitar shit, his amps, and the amps like, it's like making the feedback shit. It was like, okay, like that's totally real.
Yeah,
dude,
I
that's so
love
cool.
how they play the music with that, dude. Like war music, dude. It was so cool.
Yeah,
Very cool.
it's
Very
awesome.
well done.
Super, super cool. Speaking of the music, real quick too, man. My favorite music piece, dude, that I loved. It was the first initial chase scene, dude. It's like a really epic, like emotional music when they were like initially trying to escape. Dude, that whole scene, like with the motorcycle and stuff, they're doing all. Oh man, I love the music through that, dude, because it was something I wasn't expecting. It was It felt like the ending of Inception, man.
Yeah.
Like this epic outro where Leonardo DiCaprio was walking slow, but it blended in so perfect with that scene.
Dude, when they showed that dust storm, that tornado dust
That was
storm
cool.
thing, I was like, it made me feel small. I was like in my seat, I'm like, I was like, oh my god, like,
Because when they give you that nice panned out shot, when you're in it, it's all like loud and they pan out super quiet and you just see real small and this huge thing like clouding it.
it was like the apocalypse, dude. It was like you're entering
man.
the apocalypse.
It was
crazy. It was
gorgeous,
awesome,
dude. The one thing that got me like a little concerned with like the story, because it was just like non-stop, just going. When they slowed down, when they finally get to like this area and they're like, oh yeah, and all these old ladies start coming out, I got so nervous that they were gonna go to like this.
The green area.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, are they gonna go to like that stereotypical thing, which is like, oh, we're all these super talented
Right.
people, and like we got this huge band of friends, like let's ride off into the sunset. And then when they're like, we're gonna ride 160 days, I was like, oh, dude, like please don't take the story this way. And then when Mad Max finally just like, no, like I got a better idea. He's like, we're gonna march right back through all this. I was like, hell yeah, and they flipped gears immediately, man, just chaos till the end.
Yeah.
I was so happy they did that, man, because I was nervous where the movie was going at that point. I was like, please don't slow this down.
No, I agree with you. That was like the pivotal. It's like, okay, this could either go really good or go really south.
Because you're expecting to get that 15, 20, 25 minutes of calm where it's like, all right, let's get to learn about everybody. It's like,
Yeah,
no,
you'll
this
have
is
like a
the
lot
movie
of
to
like
do that.
montages and like fades and stuff, like just lots of like chill out sessions. But like, no, it's just. And I thought that was cool that like Mad Max straight up just like, no, like we're going right back the way we came.
Yeah, that was
Like-
so cool.
Yeah,
So cool.
I don't know. I thought Tom Hardy killed it.
I think
I
Yeah, he
liked
was
that.
perfect for the role, man.
I
He
liked
really
that
was.
he didn't have a lot of dialogue because I mean, even in the originals, I mean, Mel Gibson doesn't talk that much. Like, and his dialogue isn't that extensive. He doesn't get into deep conversation.
Yeah.
It's very subtle, very quick, and I love that about this one. Like, even the beginning where he's got the thing on his face, and he's just like, he's got the shotgun. He's like, you there, you key, give me that. Like,
Yeah.
really quick stuff. I'm like, this is cool. Like, this is very like, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I liked it because he's a man of few words, and it's like you could tell that he's not one that trusts easily. And not that anybody would in that type of world, that setting for that, but I mean, he's just hardcore, dude. Just like, it's not like you're asking politely, man. When you just say two words like, you move, I'm going to move. Like, I'm like, all right, I'm not messing with you. Clearly you've done this before,
And I love how they kind of like really tied in the previous movies, like with his family, with like because his family got killed in the first one, so
Yeah.
they have all these like throwbacks to like him kind of going crazy in his own mind, thinking about all these previous events that have led up to where he's at now. I'm glad they did that because I feel like a lot of people who went to see this movie never saw the originals. And it was easy for them to like.
I've never seen them.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Couple-
sorry if I ruined anything.
No, you're cool. I've seen pieces, dude, but I don't remember anything.
Like, I think it's cool that you can still go into this movie and you don't have to have watched anything from the previous ones, but you know exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really don't. Yeah, I don't remember the first ones. All I remember is that they're awesome. They were awesome, dude. Like,
Very,
part
for their time. For the time they came out.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, this is cool.
Yeah.
Like,
part
the action
I
sequences.
loved is when they had the fire on the engine that caught fire on the semi truck and they dropped the plow.
Oh, yeah,
the sand. They
Sand
cover the
put it
blowers. Sand extinguishes it, and the camera zooms in on the blower engine, and they open the valve, and it's like sucks in all that air. It's like boom, fucking, that's so cool,
Yeah, it was
dude.
sick, dude.
Oh my god, the sound effects were awesome.
I gotta make comment on this too. I don't know if you guys thought about this or if anybody else who saw the movie, but the whole beginning of the movie, right? So when Tom Hardy has like the face mask on,
Yeah.
all I could think about, and it's probably because of his eyes, dude. I was just like, is that Daniel Craig? That's all I was thinking.
Kinda
about.
too.
Kinda-
It's
Are you
kinda
serious?
really, yeah,
you
look like
can
Daniel
kind of
Craig.
get that idea. Yeah.
All I was thinking is, I mean, we know it's Tom Hardy, but it's like the whole time I was just like, man, I really feel like this is Daniel Craig right now. Until he got the mask off, and I was like, all right, it's Tom Hardy.
Right.
But I was like all over that for a little bit.
Tom Hardy looked a little different in the movie too. Like he either lost weight or they dyed his hair or put a lot of like sandy makeup on him or some shit. But he didn't look like Tom Hardy. You had to
Yeah,
kind
you
of
have
like
the same facial features you're
Yeah.
used to seeing and stuff. I really liked how dirty the movie was too. It's like, I mean, it's a desert landscape and everything, but everything's so dirty and grimy and people are just filth. And normally in movies like that, those kinds of settings, like it kind of bothers me. It's just like, ugh, you know what I mean? It just doesn't appeal to me. But this movie delivered it in such a beautiful way. It was disastrously beautiful almost, you know?
yeah. This movie,
I think like just overall, I mean, the effects were amazing, and I think just the way he was able to take like a rusted pile of shit like wasteland and vehicle, like it looked like he just went to like a garbage pile and scrapped everything together, but he made it look so beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
And even the characters, like the clothing they wore and everything, it was just so stylistic and just so like flowing. It flowed so well. with
Yeah, it
everything,
felt
you know?
like you were actually in
Yeah.
this post-apocalyptic, desolate landscape. It didn't feel like anything was fake to it. It didn't feel like it was over CGI'd set pieces or all this stuff, man. It was like, yeah, I really can feel this being how it is right here. You know, it sucked you into that world really well.
yeah, I can't wait for the next one. You know, like I really can't. This
Yeah.
was one of the best films I've seen this year. I think it was better than Ultron.
Yeah,
you
I
can't
agree.
you can't really compare them. I know. So
It is
no,
really
you
hard
can-
to compare,
you can-
but it's
hard
a
to
better,
compare,
it's a
but-
much better made film.
I walked out.
I enjoyed this better than Ultron. I walked out of Ultron questioning things. I walked out of this one being like
satisfied. My money was well spent. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
like I would go see this again in a theater.
Yeah.
I want to buy this the first day it comes out. You know, for
Get that
Ultron,
nice exclusive steelbook.
exactly.
Yeah.
For Ultron, I can wait. I don't need to see it anytime soon. I saw it. It's good. But this is like the rewatch value. I think is way higher.
Oh, it's fantastic.
You appreciate it. You appreciate
Because I feel like
the
you
work
also-
that's been put into it.
I feel like so much happened in that 2-hour time span that you need to go back and watch it to see what you missed. Because I guarantee I missed a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah, with
just
all
being
those
so
vehicles?
captivated
Oh,
with
yeah.
these certain things. Like there's an explosion on this side of the screen, but it's a big wide shot, so there's tons of things going on. So it's like, what did I miss over here?
Yeah, what are these guys doing in this vehicle? Or
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like you need to watch it a few times to see everything.
I think the villain was one of
He
the
was-
best
he was perfect.
villains. I can't think of a villain in a movie I've seen in the last 10 years that is equal to that. I really can't. Like a villain that could really just pull that off like that. I'm trying to think and I can't think of it right now.
he was good, man. He was good, dude. He did his part really well, man. Really well.
Yeah.
Everything about this movie was flawless, man. It was exactly what it should have been, and that's just it's a simple premise with just amazing practical effects, the stunt work, the choreography, the cinematography, everything about that, man. It's a visual masterpiece. Like it really is. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it was.
You don't see stunt work like this, man. You just don't see it.
You don't.
And I think people are this film, Pitch Perfect 2 blew it out of the box office. Mad Max, it did. I mean, so I hope
Mad Max it's still doing pretty good. Pitch Perfect 2, remember, dude, like Pitch Perfect was extremely successful and all this buzz, dude. Like Mad Max is just kind of like coming up out of nowhere. So it's literally riding off of who remembers the trilogy and who likes Tom Hardy or Charlize Theron. So I mean, it didn't have a whole bunch of steam until the reviews started coming out. People are like, oh, maybe there's something to actually look at with this.
I believe that
it's doing pretty good though.
I'm really hoping that a lot of people will take influence from this movie. That this is how film should be. This is how it should be done. Like, I don't need an hour and a half of someone staying up all night on their computer creating explosions. Like, I want to see weeks and months of effort put in to a movie
and
to create.
It clearly
these
pays
things.
off.
Yeah,
clearly it pays off. This was a beautiful film.
I don't need you to I don't need you to pay 100 graphic designers to do the work of one guy to actually create and choreograph a real live action sequence. You know what I mean? And I think it's ridiculous that we've gotten into such an age of like everything is CGI. We have to
now.
exactly. And it's like this is 2015. You can do all of this stunt work and still make it look better than anything you can make on a computer.
Absolutely.
And this movie proves it. You had, for example, Dark Knight,
Rises or
Dark Knight. The Dark Knight or like the Transformers, like. Those movies had realistic explosions in them. And you can tell the difference between those explosions.
Oh, it's a huge difference.
And explosions that are just done on a computer. Like,
a lot of it's all in the actors, too. It's like when you give them real tangible things and they're in a real environment, you're going to get a much better performance out of them with that stuff,
Yeah.
And exactly like Tia said, dude, with the CGI and stuff, it's like, okay, well, this is how we want this explosion to look with X, Y, and Z to happen in it. You can make it look exactly how it's written in the script with CGI. It's like, great. But the realism that you're going to get from actually performing that stunt, even if every little thing in the car doesn't flip 8 times or whatever have you, man, it's going to look 10 times better because you're looking at a tangible thing. Yeah. And your actors who are watching it happen, dude, like, their eyes are right on it.
Yeah, you'll see the difference in emotion coming from your actors if they're in the middle of this area where a real explosion's happening other than, a green screen behind them. There's a difference in the emotion, and it comes out on screen, and you can totally tell, like, okay, that was realistic. That was like something real. That person reacted accordingly.
Yeah, exactly. So touching base on the ending here real quick then to wrap this up. So they succeed in their mission, they get back, they toss Morton Joe off the thing, and everybody's like, oh hell yeah, man. Charlize Theron gets lifted up, all these new people, like it's kind of like freedom has been restored to the galaxy in their own little utopia again.
Yeah.
Mad Max is kinda like it's just kind of like that nod, man. They have the eye contact. It's just like, listen, dude, like...
That was cool.
Yeah, well done, Backs off into the crowd, and it closes out. Where do you think Mad Max Wasteland goes?
I think it's going to go towards some of those other tribes that got in on the action as the movie progressed. So you had the oil city that they were originally supposed to be going to gather oil and bring it back. I think they're going to probably have him leave this, like, new world that he helped create, go back out into his, own little fantasy or whatever, but he's going to encounter more, trouble from other tribes.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's where they're going to go. They're going to probably go towards that route of like, okay, whatever, these are the oil people, and then this is like that motorcycle gang, and then this is...
I think that they're going to
because Joe's family was destroyed, so it's not like anyone from his legacy is going to come back, you know what I mean?
Well, his brother, right? Wasn't his brother the midget dude in the wheelchair?
The midget dude in the wheelchair, that was that was one of his sons.
One of his sons?
And then that big dude who died in the battle, that was his son too.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think there's going to be like an uprising within that community where like we're still going to have Charlize Theron coming back and all that, or is this going to be like a separate Mad Max tale?
I think what's going to happen is they're going to use up all their resources because Joe held back that water. He's pumping them from the earth. So I mean, it's going to dry up. It ain't raining. To recharge those aquifers and shit. So you're going to soak up all that water. It's going to be dry. You're going to be like, well, fuck shit. Like, what do we do now? We're all out of everything or something. And then they got to travel somewhere. I don't know.
Do you think they're going to have Charlize Theron still in there though? Do you think they're going to still have this
I don't know.
area, or is it going to be just Mad Max leaves at the end of the movie and that's it?
I don't know if they do.
They
that on
don't. They leave it open. It's like they can either have him just like flowing back with the people because he's just gonna chill there, or is he?
I'd like to see without her. I'd like to see him continue, like without her. I mean, because that all the movies prior to this, it's kind of just Mad Max has his story and he moves on. Story moves on. Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to like spoil the other movies for you. So it's the last two, like Road Warrior and Return to or Beyond Thunderdome. I mean, kind of similar in the way they were made, but like. I just feel like it would be a lot better served to have Mad Max go his own way. Maybe have her in the movie, but not play such a pivotal role.
Yeah.
Maybe have her as like, okay, she's in control of this this civilization now.
Yeah, because her story kind of came to an end.
Yeah, like, I don't see any point of bringing her along for the ride again. Like, let that story end. They have their water, they have their stuff. Like, let them do their thing, and Mad Max can go on his own way. The only thing I could see happening was. Now that Immortan Joe is overthrown, his family is destroyed. There's probably not like a strong like defense system in place for this area. The only thing I can see is if it picks up right after this movie, maybe like an invasion from other hordes, like other hordes coming in for those resources, and Mad Max has to help fight them off.
All right, that would be cool. That'd be cool. I didn't think about that. That's a good call.
Yeah, so that would be cool. Otherwise, like let Mad Max go do his own thing and whatever.
Oh yeah. All right, so Mad Max Fury Road.
Fucking way up, dude.
Yeah.
6 thumbs up.
Dude, killer movie, man.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Awesome. That's how action movies should be made.
Yep.
Take
note.
Yeah. Any famous directors watching our podcast?
I really hope, man.
Stop giving me CGI. I hate CGI. We all hate CGI. Yeah, computers are the devil.
I just hope that people like realize that it is like. It is like that's how it should be, Like
no, it is. It's like you need to like pay these stuntmen to do legitimate, real stunts, put their bodies on the line, and make it look good. Like that's all it takes. You don't have to pay 50 to 100 people to sit behind a desk and create action sequences on their laptops. Pay one dude to choreograph the whole damn thing and do it. Just do it. If you and then this is the perfect movie for it because you don't have to worry about a bunch of buildings that you're destroying in real life. You just have a desert.
That's what I love about it, dude. There's no cities being destroyed, dude.
So
it's like a bunch of assholes driving around out in the desert, dude. Like,
exactly.
Yeah, it was killer, man. So, Mad Max Fury Road, awesome movie. Hope you guys have checked it out by now, if you're watching this. If not, get your ass out there. We probably just spoiled the whole movie for you. So, what do you guys think of Mad Max Fury Road? One of the best action films in a long time.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Check us out, facebook.com/Nerf Herders Podcast. Like the video. Leave us a comment. Until next time, keep on Nerf Herding.